Gee whiz.
Merry Christmas, friends. My name is John Henderson. Welcome to this series of old-time radio Christmas episodes called Gee Whiz. These are stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers, Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. The Christmas episode of The Aldrich Family was done twice. The one we're about to hear is from December 23rd, 1948, but they did it originally back in 1939.
Boy, that's a fine thing.
Henry, where are you going?
Out, Mother. Just out.
Dear, you haven't got your coat on.
Gee, who cares?
Well, at least take your new muffler.
Mother, I'd rather not even mention that muffler.
I wasn't too sure what a muffler was. A muffler is a cold weather scarf, a winter scarf. Some terminology changes over the years. That can also be true for Christmas traditions, but there are some traditions that I hope are here to stay, like Christmas caroling.
Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. We are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are neighbors' children whom you have seen before. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year. God send you a happy new year.
So put on your coat and muffler and enjoy the Aldrich family.
And now the Jell-O family presents...
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's the Aldrich family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer. And yes, it's the Jell-O family with its three famous desserts. Jell-O in those 6 delicious flavors, Jell-O puddings with that old-fashioned homemade flavor, and Jell-O tapioca puddings. A miracle of goodness, a marvel of speed.
4 desserts that are delicious. Boy, believe me, you should know. They are made by famous Jell-O.
And now for the Aldrich family. To a typical teenage boy like Henry Aldrich, every holiday is naturally a red-letter day. And whatever the celebration, Henry is always certain to be right in the center of it, adding a little color of his own. The scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table. It's the week before Christmas.
Sam, I'm just as pleased as I can be.
Yes, what about?
Henry, he's been so helpful this past week. And, dear, do you know what I think?
What?
He's really growing up.
You know what I think?
What?
Christmas is just around the corner.
Sam Aldrich, you're just being cynical.
No, Alice, I'm just experienced. Any time now, he'll start in dropping hints.
What hints?
About what he'd like us to give him for Christmas.
Sam, if he does, it's just because he's trying to be helpful.
Father, are you in the dining room?
Yes, Henry?
Hiya, Father, old-timer.
There we go.
I thought you might like your pipe here.
Thank you, Henry.
Can I fill it for you?
No, thank you.
Or strike a match and light it?
No, thanks.
Gee whiz, isn't there anything I can do?
Would you care to smoke it for me?
Sam!
Henry, is there something special on your mind? Something you want to say?
Why, no, sir. I'm just passing the time of day.
I see.
Only, now that I think of it, did I mention that swell football game I saw?
When, dear?
Thanksgiving Day. Boy, it was some game.
It was?
Yeah. Too bad I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't? Why not?
I don't know. You take a football game and you sit way back in the stands, see? And if you're not equipped, where are you?
Where?
You're right. It sure makes you think, doesn't it?
Hey, Henry.
Oh, gee whiz. I'll be right with you, Homer. Excuse me.
Henry, wouldn't you like to be a little more explicit?
Sure, Father. The game I missed the best part of was the one we came closest to winning all season. Hi, Homer.
Listen, Henry, when are you going to casually show that advertisement to my father?
What? I'll tell you.
Oh, gee whiz, don't you want him to make me happy for Christmas?
Homer, I intend to show it to him. Just as soon as I find it.
You lost it?
Not permanently. I was eating some cookies the other night, see? And the next thing I knew, your ad had disappeared. Temporarily.
You mean you ate it?
Ate it? Now that I think of it, that last cookie was kind of chewy.
Henry, I'll never get that piccolo if you go around eating up my ass.
Besides, Homer, if you ask me, you ought to be more subtle about that piccolo.
Who's not subtle? I'm not subtle.
Look, for Christmas, I want those binoculars down into Havens, right?
Right.
So I just subtly drop a few hints and mention that I wasn't able to see the Thanksgiving football game from way back where I sat. And right away, they know it's binoculars I want.
They do?
Sure. Only they just try to worry me by pretending they don't understand.
Gee, Henry, you're right. You have to be subtle. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
Just a few days before Christmas, I'm going to give my father a box of good cigars.
Cigars?
Sure, and right inside I'll put a copy of that piccolo ad. How's that for being subtle?
Henry!
Yes, Mary?
Maybe one of you could help me.
With what, Mary?
Well, look, Homer. Suppose you were a man, see?
Mary, are you insulting me?
Of course not, Homer. I just said suppose you were.
Oh.
So if you were this certain party, would you prefer a pen and pencil set or a 3-speed blanket?
You're buying me a blanket that travels at 3 speeds?
I should have known better than to ask you a simple question. Mother!
Wait a minute, Mary. Ask me again. Ask me again.
Mother, are you in the kitchen?
Mary, dear, I'll be right back. Sam!
But, Mother, I just want to ask you what I should buy Kermit for Christmas.
Sam, look what I just found in the cookie jar, an advertisement.
Someone's advertising in our cookie jar?
Dear, don't you get it? Henry put it there for us to find.
Oh, let me see it. Are you never the life of the party? Buy one of our piccolos and stop playing second fiddle. $6.75 delivered. Alice, a piccolo?
Sam, that's what he wants for Christmas.
Engraved with bluebirds, $1 extra.
That would be lovely.
But, Alice, where does a football game enter into a piccolo?
Dear, it's obvious.
It is?
Of course. Henry wants to play in the school band.
What?
Yes, dear, so he can sit right on the sidelines and get a perfect view.
Mr. DeHaven.
I'll be right with you, boys.
Look, Homer, there are my binoculars.
Where?
Right there in the store window, next to that sign that says, Make Mother Happy for Christmas with a personalized darning egg.
Now, what can I do for you, boys?
Mr. DeHaven, I'd like a box of your best cigars.
Yes, sir. We have an excellent brand here that comes all wrapped for Christmas.
That's swell. I'll take it.
Good. That'll be $11.50.
How much?
$11.50.
That 11 you're speaking of, is that dollars?
Here it is.
Gee whiz, all I have is $1.25.
Mr. DeHaven, could I please try these binoculars in the window?
Very well, Henry, but be careful.
Gee, thanks.
Mr. DeHaven, don't you have cigars without quite so much tobacco that come for about $1.25?
No, I'm afraid not. Why not get your father something else?
Not cigars?
We have some nice simulated plastic picture frames.
Picture frames?
Yes, you could slip your picture in one of them and give that to your father.
My picture? And watch my piccolo go right out the window?
Well, then I'm afraid there's nothing I can do, Homer. Now, be careful with those binoculars, Henry.
Yes, Mr. DeHaven. All I'm doing is looking through them.
Boy, imagine, $11.50 for cigars. People sure do burn up money.
Boy, Homer, boy, are these binoculars neat.
Let me look through them, Henry. Let me look.
Okay, but take it easy, Homer.
Hey, you see Agnes Lawson down by the soda fountain?
Yeah?
You know how much her check is? Only 5 cents.
Gee, are those binoculars as powerful as that? Excuse me, Homer.
Who are you phoning?
My father, to drop another hint.
Number, please.
Elm 992.
Henry, while you're calling, I think I'll join Agnes.
What for?
I've owed her a treat for a long while, and boy, this looks like a good time to pick up her check.
Hello?
Hello, Father.
Henry, I've got to meet your mother. What is it?
Why, nothing in particular. I just happen to be down here in DeHaven's drugstore. And, I saw...
Saw what?
Nothing, Father. But don't you think it's pretty interesting to be able to see a check from as far off as 20 feet?
See a what?
A check.
Henry, what are you driving at?
Driving at, Father? I? Well, gee, I just called to pass the time of day.
Yes, but...
Well, now that I've passed it, so long, Father.
Henry, where's Homer?
Over there with Agnes and Mr. DeHaven. If things go right, my parents ought to be in for these binoculars sometime today.
Good. Did I mention there's no extra charge for the leather case?
They come in a case?
Oh, yes, with a strap that goes around your neck.
Boy, that's a fine thing.
Say, Homer, I found a sample box of 15 cigars that I can let you have for $1.25.
But, Mr. DeHaven, all I have now is $1.
What?
Agnes's check was 25 cents.
I thought it was only 5.
So did I. Only she was deliberately holding her thumb over the 2.
May I help you, sir?
Yes, do you sell checkers at this counter?
Oh, we do indeed. Would you like to see them in wood, plastic, or reinforced cardboard?
Well...
Or if you want to go whole hog, we have a dandy set in hand-carved ivory.
Well, it really doesn't matter what the checkers are made of, just so that they're big enough to be seen from 20 feet off.
20 feet?
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't it be rather inconvenient to play from that distance?
Oh, it sounds ridiculous to me, too, but as near as I can figure out, that's what my son wants for Christmas.
Well, if you'll just wait a minute, I'll see if we have any large checkers in stock.
Thank you.
Father!
Oh.
Father, what are you doing down here at the Emporium?
I was supposed to meet your mother at the information counter 10 minutes ago.
Oh. Well, she still has time. By the way, Father, does a leather case with a strap that goes around your neck mean anything to you?
No, why?
I ran into Henry and he said if I saw you to casually mention that what he wants for Christmas comes in one.
You don't say.
And, Father, I have a problem.
Yes?
Well, if you knew a certain party that was, well, close to you.
Close to you?
Yes. And suppose you wanted to get him something very special for Christmas to show him how you feel about him. What would you get?
Why, well, I really don't feel I should say.
Father, you must tell me.
Well, naturally, Mary, I'm sure whatever you get him, he'll be crazy about. But if I were that man, you know what I'd really like?
What?
Well, a new hunting rifle?
My goodness.
You're right, Mary. It's too expensive.
Oh, I'm not worried about the money.
No?
No, it's coming out of my special campaign fund.
Well, Mary, I hardly know what... Well, that is, I'm certainly... Mary.
Father, my goodness, you kissed me right in the middle of the Emporium.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Huh? Oh, that's quite all right.
And could you please tell me which way to Guns?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I know, in sporting goods.
Now, don't you go spending too much, Mary. Nice girl, Mary.
Lovely. Friend?
Daughter.
Oh.
Say, isn't your jewelry department nearby?
2 aisles over, but...
As long as she's going as far as a hunting rifle, I wonder how she'd like a pearl necklace.
But, sir, about those checkers, I've measured all of them, and the largest is 1.25 inches in diameter.
Oh, well, I'll tell you. Does the set come in a leather case?
Why, no.
And it doesn't have a strap that goes around your neck?
No.
Oh, well, thanks. The more I think of it, the more I'm sure we're on the wrong track with checkers.
Well, we have this chess set in a leather case.
Chess?
And it's been reduced, and we could have a strap put on it.
No, I'm afraid not. If I don't like chess, why should Henry?
Sam!
Oh, there's my wife. Excuse me.
Dear, I'm sorry I'm late, but I've finished every last bit of our Christmas shopping.
No, you haven't, Alice. We still need a gift for Henry.
Henry? Didn't you send away for that piccolo?
Yes, but he wasn't hinting for a piccolo.
He wasn't?
Not unless a piccolo has something to do with checks you can see 20 feet off and it goes around your neck.
What?
Incidentally, Alice, what do you think of pearls?
Pearls? What? Why, dear, they're very lovely.
They'd make a nice present for a young lady, wouldn't they?
Oh, my goodness, yes, but aren't they rather expensive?
Alice, in this case, nothing's too good.
Well, naturally, Sam, it's up to you. And, dear, while you're doing your shopping, there's something I ought to take care of, too.
Very well, dear, and try to think what it is Henry's been hinting at.
I will. Excuse me, madam, could you let me by, please? Young man.
Well, back again, madam.
Yes, these ties I bought a little while ago. I'd like to return them.
So soon?
Well...
Our ties don't usually start coming back until after New Year's.
Well, you see, I think I'm getting a pearl necklace for my husband. And I couldn't very well give him just ties in return.
I see. Very well. I'll make out a refund slip.
Thank you. Incidentally, you've had quite a bit of experience with gifts, haven't you?
I certainly have.
Well, what would you say it was that's handy at football games, comes in loud checks, and goes around your neck?
Why, madam, that's obvious.
It is?
Yes, you'll find our mufflers right over there at the next counter.
Muffler? But that's incredible. Henry would never... Why, it's incredible.
But, madam, what else could it be?
Mary, you bought Kermit what for Christmas?
A gun, Mother, a gun.
Dear, do you really think you should be giving a man you might eventually marry a thing like that?
But Father thought that's just what Kermit would like. And, Mother, my problem is, what should I have engraved on it?
Engraved?
And on the barrel. I was thinking of something like, to Kermit, peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
Dear, I wouldn't have it engraved until after Christmas.
Why not?
Well, suppose it's the wrong size and has to be returned. And, Mary, wait till you hear what I'm getting from your father.
Hey, Henry. Mrs. Aldrich, have you seen Henry?
Well, I believe he's up in his room, Homer. I'll call him.
Before you tell me what you're getting?
Mary, maybe you can help me out.
With what?
Have you ever had any experience rolling cigars?
Rolling what?
Cigars. I thought if I bought the raw materials and eliminated the middleman, I might get by for $1.
Homer, I've never rolled a cigar in my life.
Hi, Homer.
And I don't think it's a bit nice of you to infer that I have. My goodness.
Homer, Mary didn't mention anything about my family buying those binoculars, did she?
No.
Gee, I went through every hiding place in the house, and the only Christmas present I found was a muffler.
For you?
Gee whiz, no. My parents wouldn't palm a thing like that off on me. You should see it, Homer. Checks as big as that all over.
No kidding.
Boy, it looked like it was on fire.
Henry.
Yes, Homer?
I hate to mention this, but, well, maybe your parents didn't get your hint straight and bought you something else instead of binoculars.
Henry, will you please answer the phone?
Yes, Mother. Homer, what else could they have thought I was hinting for? Hello?
Hello, is this Aldrich?
Yes.
Elm 303?
That's right.
Well, this is the Emporium calling. Have you decided on what sort of engraving you want on that hunting rifle?
Hunting rifle?
Yes.
Hunting rifle?
That you bought this afternoon for the young man.
Are you sure you're calling Aldrich?
Yes.
Elm 303?
Yes.
And somebody here bought a hunting rifle?
Yes. Hello?
Oh, boy. Only maybe you shouldn't have told me that.
Oh, it's for you?
You better call back later and speak to either my mother or father. Goodbye. Homer, did you hear that? I'm getting a hunting rifle for Christmas.
Boy, and to think all I asked for was a piccolo.
Boy, Homer, that just goes to prove what a few subtle hints can do.
For a few subtle holiday hints from Meredith Wilson and his talking people.
You know, Meredith?
What?
That wonderful, colorful Jell-O family sure adds a lot to holiday cheer.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Those big red letters are just as friendly and cheerful as,
Santa's red suit?
Yeah.
Hey, Prancer. Come on, boy. Up, Dancer. Whoa, now, take it easy around that chimney.
Okay. And after the holidays, too, the same big red letters stand for the same good cheer the year round.
Jell-O also means satiny, smooth Jell-O pudding.
Every day of the year.
Jell-O also means Jell-O tapioca pudding.
And Jello also means Jell-O, the world's most famous shimmering dessert. And nothing could taste better or sparkle prettier on your table through the holidays or any day than any or all of the 6 delicious fruit-like locked-in flavors of shining, shimmering Jell-O.
Listen to that man go.
I'll take strawberry,
raspberry,
cherry,
orange, lemon, lime. Jell-O, and back to the Aldrich family.
Now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Henry wanted a pair of binoculars for Christmas, but the subtle hints he's been dropping have led his parents to buy him a muffler and a piccolo. Only now, Henry believes they've bought him a hunting rifle, which is really Mary's present to her boyfriend. The scene opens in the Aldrich living room, and it's Christmas Eve.
A snow shovel? Mother, you're giving Father a snow shovel for Christmas?
Mary, let me finish. First, your father will give me my pearl necklace. Then I'll give him his snow shovel. And, Mary, you're going to see the longest face you've ever seen.
Well, I should think so.
And then I'll give him his real present, a lovely chess set in a leather case.
A chess set?
Yes, I saw him admiring it in the Emporium the other day.
Oh, Mother, you're so sweet.
Oh, and Mary, I feel so warm.
So do I. The house has been so different since Father insulated it.
I didn't mean that. I mean everything's so perfect.
Hello, Mother.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Henry.
Would anybody like me to make them a glass of eggnog?
Eggnog, Henry?
Sure, that's just the thing I'm in the mood to make.
Well, thank you just the same, dear.
Hey, Henry.
Mary, please phone Mrs. Dixon and make sure she launders our good tablecloth in time for Christmas dinner.
Henry, I got that box of cigars from my father.
You did? For $1?
Sure, from Willie Marshall.
I didn't know Willie smoked cigars.
He doesn't. This is a box his uncle sent his father.
No kidding.
Sure. Mr. Marshall said the way he feels about his wife's family, he wouldn't smoke them with a 10-foot pole.
I'll get that.
I don't mind answering it, Mary.
I'm practically there. Hello?
Hello, Mary. This is Kermit.
Oh, hello, Kermit.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How have you been?
Fine, Kermit.
You had the sniffles when I left last night, and I've been worrying.
You have? Isn't that sweet?
How are they?
Who?
The sniffles.
Oh, fine.
I've just finished my Christmas shopping.
You have? Kermit, I certainly hope you didn't get anything from me.
Well,
Oh, Kermit, you shouldn't have.
It's something you wear on your hand.
Really? Kermit, you're teasing.
No, I'm not, and they're made of pigskin.
Oh. Oh.
That's all the hint I'm going to give you.
Oh. Well, I certainly hope you won't ask me to give you any hints about what I got you.
I won't.
You won't? Well, I'll give you a tiny hint. Just keep your eye on the bullseye.
On the bullseye?
And I'm not going to say another word.
Gee, that's a puzzler.
It is.
I can't think of what it could be, unless it's a gun.
A gun?
But I know you wouldn't be foolish enough to buy a thing like that.
What?
Not for a guy who served 4 years in the infantry.
Well, naturally, I didn't. Why would I? Oh, my goodness.
Is anything wrong, Mary?
No, but I have to hang up.
Are your sniffles coming back?
Kermit, I haven't time to explain. Goodbye. Oh, my goodness.
Where's Mary? What's wrong?
Henry, out of my way. Don't you realize all the stores close at 7 tonight?
Are you looking for something in that closet, Mary?
My goodness, I hope it isn't too late.
Mary, what are you doing?
Henry, let go. I've got to return this right away.
Return it. Listen, Mary, put that down.
Henry, out of my way.
Mother! Mary, don't you move another step. Mother!
Henry, I warn you.
What's all the shouting about?
What's going on?
Mother, Mary's going to return my Christmas present.
Mary, that muffler's for Henry.
Muffler?
Mother, I didn't touch the muffler. I'm returning Kermit's gun.
Kermit's gun?
Kermit's?
Now, please, let me go, Henry. I'll never be able to return it in time.
But...
Henry, you didn't think that gun was for you instead of Kermit, did you?
Why...
For Henry, Alice. For Henry. If that gun was for anyone, it was for...
For whom?
Kermit. And excuse me.
Where are you going?
Up to my room. And I hope Mary's very happy with her pearls.
Mary? The pearls are for... My goodness.
Boy, that's a fine thing.
Henry, where are you going?
Out, Mother. Just out.
Dear, you haven't got your coat on.
Gee, who cares?
Well, at least take your new muffler.
Mother, I'd rather not even mention that muffler.
What are you doing on the curb?
Sitting, Homer. Gee whiz, what does it look like?
I've been looking for you for nearly 2 hours. Merry Christmas.
Sure. Merry Christmas.
I heard about the gun being for Kermit. Tough luck.
That's okay, Homer. That's okay. Maybe the better man won.
Henry, don't say that.
Why not? Why not face facts? Gee. And to think I've been looking forward to this Christmas since last Christmas.
I know how you feel. I'm not getting my piccolo either.
No?
I'll be lucky to get anything.
Didn't you give your father those cigars?
Sure. He lit one. You know what happened?
What?
It blew up in his face.
It did?
And Willie won't even give me my money back. He says, is it his fault his uncle doesn't like his father?
What's that?
Bunch of kids singing carols on the library steps.
Boy, you'd think they'd know better than to disturb the peace.
I'll say.
Homer, are you humming?
Me? Well, gee whiz, I was just checking to see if they're in tune.
Oh, are they?
No.
Hiya, fellas.
Who's that?
Gee whiz, it's that pest Johnny Dixon again.
Merry Christmas to you all. I just delivered your mother's tablecloth, Henry. Aren't we lucky?
Lucky?
Sure. Look, snow on Christmas Eve. Isn't it neat?
What's so neat about snow? All it does is get under your collar.
And would you mind leaving us alone?
Well, sure, fellas. And I hope your mother's cold gets better, Henry.
Cold? She's got a cold?
Well, that's the way she looked to me. Say, did I show you the swell present I got from my mother? Look, a real aviator's helmet.
Yeah.
Fur-lined.
That's swell.
With real fur. Well, I better get home and help her trim the tree. Merry Christmas to you all.
Gee.
Yeah, gee.
Imagine getting all excited about a hat. Henry.
What?
I'm going home.
Homer, you're going to leave me alone on Christmas Eve?
I'm sorry, Henry. That's where I'd rather be.
Gee whiz.
Good night. And Henry.
Yeah?
Merry Christmas.
Henry Aldrich.
Gee whiz, Mother, what are you doing out in the street?
Here's your coat.
Gee, thanks, Mother.
Don't think I'm forgiving you, Henry. But if you get sick, I'm the one who'll have to suffer for it. Now put it on.
Yes, Mother, and look.
Henry, is that you?
Sam.
Alice, what are you doing out here?
Sam, I know we agreed not to speak to Henry, but...
Father, what's that under your arm?
Why,
Gee whiz, it's my lumber jacket.
Henry, I'm still the one who has to pay the doctor's bill.
Gee, thanks.
Well, Alice, shall we go home?
You're going? Before I wish a Merry Christmas to you all?
Why, Merry Christmas, Henry.
Yes. Merry Christmas, son.
Gee, listen to what they're saying. Love and joy come to you, and to you your also too, and God bless you. Oh, Father, could I apologize for thinking that gun was for me?
Well, that's all right, son. We all make mistakes.
Sam, I'm so happy.
Henry, I'm just curious. What was it you were heading for all week?
Gee, Father, it was silly. Forget it.
I'm curious.
Well, a pair of binoculars I saw in DeHaven.
Binoculars?
But, gee, they don't compare to a muffler.
Yeah.
Well, shall we all go home now and trim the tree?
Why, I'll tell you, Alice, suppose you go home and start without me. I just remembered I ran out of cigars.
Don't buy them from Willie, Father. They blow up in your face.
Well, dear, shall we start for home?
Why, before we do, could I go into the store here and put in one phone call?
To whom?
DeHaven's drugstore, and tell Mr. DeHaven not to sell my binoculars before Father gets there.
Now, Merry Christmas to all of your families from the Jell-O family. Jell-O, Jell-O puddings, and Jell-O tapioca puddings. Now, for all you youngsters listening in, here's a little Christmas poem. If you ever get the feeling that you'd like to squeeze the cat, or tie a tin can to the dog, or sit on Father's hat, or pull the lamp from off the desk, or overturn the ink, better stop before you do. Better stop and think. 'Cause you know what's coming, and it's not so far away. Just 2 days from now, it'll be Christmas Day. You can squeeze the cat in April. You can tease the dog in June. In August, you can dig the yard with Mother's silver spoon. Father's hat will squash in March, and next month there'll still be ink. Better wait a little while. Better wait and think. 'Cause you know what's coming, and it's not so far away. Just 2 days from now, it'll be Christmas Day.
And here's wishing all of you, from all of us, a very Merry Christmas. Good night, folks.
The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone as Henry and Jackie Kelk as Homer, is written by Norman Tokar and Ed Jurist, with music by Jack Miller. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jamison and Catherine Roth. And this is Hugh James in New York saying the Aldrich Family is brought to you by the Jell-O Family.
For desserts that are delicious, boy, believe me, you should know. They are made by famous Jell-O.
Listen again next Thursday, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
That was a Christmas episode of The Aldrich Family from 1948. As for the Hardy Family, well, the movie Love Finds Andy Hardy actually took place at Christmas. But, as we find out, Mother is out of town on Christmas Eve. She hasn't even called.
Well, children.
I was just leaving my presents.
I just brought Betsy in for her present. Anything happen yet, Dad?
No. No, still no word from Mother.
Oh, gee.
Well, it's after 12 o'clock. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Marion. Andy, Betsy.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, gee, a heck of a Christmas this is.
A telegram.
I'll get it. Mom!
Andy, baby. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas,
Mother.
everybody.
Why, Emily, how could you... what happened?
Well, didn't you get my telegram? Telegram?
Did you send one?
Why, of course. Came home for Christmas by airplane.
Oh, at night?
Well, of course. Oh, I loved it.
Okay, everybody's crazy.
What was it you said about a telegram?
Oh, James. Isn't that just like me? I forgot to send it from the airport. Dear, my fingers are all thumbs. Oh, here it is.
Merry Christmas, my dear.
Yes, sir. It's a Merry Christmas, all right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Betsy.
Merry Christmas, Andy.
We don't actually get to see Christmas morning at the Hardy Family in the movie, but they released a filmed promotional short which doubles as a Christmas greeting.
Thanks, Mom. Oh, it's just what I wanted.
Oh, be careful with him. He's very young.
Mother, you're a darling.
I hope you never lose a cent.
I know what this is.
Aunt Millie, did you see my dog?
Oh,
you like it? What did you get? Hey, this is from Polly. Hey, look. Hey, Marion, don't pet the dog. Don't pet her so hard. Look at Marion. He's sitting up. Oh, wham. You train her.
How about the present for James?
Of course.
Andy.
Yes, ma'am.
Your father's present. This is present.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Well, now what in the world could that be? That couldn't possibly be a fishing pole, could it?
No.
And I need one mighty bad. Oh, thank you, Mother. Thank you all. That makes everything complete.
Oh, not quite, Dad. Why, you've forgotten the most important thing of all.
What? Hmm? Oh. Oh, yes, of course. The one thing that we Hardys should never forget, ladies and gentlemen, is you. You're the reason we exist. You've kept us together. So with profound gratitude, we want to wish you all, each and every one of you, the happiest of holidays. And that sentiment comes from the bottom of my heart.
And from Mother. Aunt Millie. From Marion.
And Andy?
Oh.
You usually speak for yourself, son.
The most of the best to all of you.
Not only could you see them on the big screen, the Hardy family also took time to wish you a Merry Christmas over the airwaves.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christmas greetings from Hollywood. A group of old friends of yours, that very fine movie family of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, has asked this radio station for a few minutes so that they might visit with you. It seems that these old friends of yours and of ours want to wish you a Merry Christmas. So we are delighted to bring you the Hardy family, for their sentiments are our sentiments. And now for the Hardys. It is Christmas in their home, too. Judge and Mother Hardy are sitting by the fireplace, their memories wandering back to the many other happy holidays they've spent together. Andy is gazing dreamily into the fire, and perhaps it is the face of his sweetheart, Polly Benedict, that he sees in the dancing flames. Marion is not yet home, for at the moment she is delivering the annual supply of Hardy Christmas baskets. Aunt Millie is wrapping the last of the holiday gifts, Christmas 1939, with the Hardy family.
Mother, you better get rid of that knitting. Remember, you've got a hard day ahead of you tomorrow.
Oh, just a few more stitches, James. Polly will be over early, and I want to get it finished and wrap it tonight.
It's nearly midnight. Marion should be here by now.
Yes, she should. How many Christmas baskets did she take with her, Millie?
17. That means 17 different stops. Oh, she'll be along.
Well, you might have offered to help her, Andy.
I did, but when that new boyfriend of hers started beetling his eyebrows at me, I thought better of it. Say, you should have seen him throw those big baskets into the car just like they were thimbles.
You got your usual quarter for making it a discreet withdrawal, didn't you?
Now, Dad, you know that that's kid stuff. I'm grown up now.
Yes, Andy, so you are. And so is Marion. I sometimes wish the people who run the affairs of this world were a little grown up, too.
Well, folks, better get your Christmas shopping done early. It's 2 minutes till Christmas.
Still believe in Santa Claus, don't you, Andy?
Of course I do, Mom. Even when he hasn't got whiskers like Dad.
I'm afraid that we're going to welcome Christmas without Marion.
Well, Marion's doing much more for the spirit of Christmas right where she is.
There she blows!
Merry
Christmas!
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Christmas to you, Andy.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle. Oh, jingle bells. Hello? Oh, just a minute. Mom, it's Marion.
Oh, hello, Marion, dear. Well, did you deliver all the baskets? Oh, fine. What time will you be home? Oh, well, wait a minute. She wants to wish us all a Merry Christmas. Now, listen carefully. All right, dear.
Hey, Mom, you got the wrong... Say it again, Marion.
The best of everything to all of you, and that comes from the heart of a happy girl who is proud to be one of you.
It's a very brave sentiment, Marion.
And your sentiments, Dad?
Oh, very simple. Peace and freedom, progress, prosperity, enduring security. Simple words, Marion, but such important ones. And I wish that all heads will be held high and hearts be kept full. And I wish that the coming year will find all of us happily and contentedly together.
Hurry home, Marion. Bye.
And when I say all of us, of course I mean all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Because without you, there wouldn't be any us. So will you accept our sincerest wish for the merriest Christmas ever? And a new year that's happier beyond your fondest hopes? And a wish that Christmas 1940 will find all of us able to say, in all lands and in all hearts there truly is peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Judy Garland echoes a beautiful sentiment with a beautiful song. A song dear to the hearts of all of us at Christmas time. From Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Hardy family, Louis Stone, Mickey Rooney, Fay Holden, Cecilia Parker, Sarah Hayden, from Judy Garland, from everybody in Hollywood, from the prop boy of the smallest studio to the president of the biggest, from the brightest star to the most obscure extra player, and from this station, which is happy to bring their greetings to you, a Merry, Merry Christmas.
That was the Hardy family from the late 1930s, short but very sweet. And now back to the Aldrich family. After the wild misadventures of the Christmas season, it's customary to take some time on Christmas Eve to enjoy a nice, calm service at church.
Let's suppose now you make believe this is many, many years ago, a long time before you were born. You're standing on the hillside near a little town in Palestine. You see the man in the distance walking slowly, leading a donkey? His name is Joseph. And riding on the donkey is Mary. They've come a long way and they're heading for the town near the hillside on which we're standing. Something very special will happen in this town tonight, for this is the little town of Bethlehem. It's getting very dark and all the rooms at the inn are taken. So they spend the night at a stable. Now I told you something special was going to happen, and it did. A baby boy is born to Mary, and they called him Jesus. They had no baby's crib, so Mary put little Jesus to sleep in the soft, sweet hay of a manger. Well, now let's look up into the sky. Do you see that bright star twinkling in the heavens? Far away, 3 men are looking at that star just as we are. They're using the star as a guide to lead them to the Christ child. Who are these 3 men who follow the star? Let's find out.
We 3 kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star.
There, the 3 wise men present gifts to the Christ child. The first Christmas gifts ever given to anyone.
Okay, so that wasn't actually a church service, but it was the next best thing. Perry Como.
Season's greetings from the CBS television network.
That was his television show from Christmas Eve, 1952. Here now is the Aldrich Family episode from that year, 1952. This aired on December 21st, but it's all about Christmas Eve.
And now, a Merry Christmas to you. And here, the Aldrich Family on NBC.
Henry Aldrich!
Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's the Aldrich Family is transcribed, written by Clifford Goldsmith. The holiday season is always the wide-eyed time of the year for a typical teenage boy. But But no matter how wide open his eyes are, he's almost certain to walk right smack into some assorted troubles, especially if he's like Henry Aldrich. The scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table. The time is morning.
10, 11, 12.
Henry, will you pass the cream, please?
The cream, Mary, here you are. 12, 13.
Henry, that's the sugar you're passing.
Oh, excuse me, here. 12, 13, 14.
Henry, may I have that piece of toast if you aren't going to eat it?
I'm going to eat it, Mother. Was that 13 or 14?
12.
Now, Sam, don't rattle him. It was 14, dear.
14? Are you sure?
Yes, Henry.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, gee whiz.
What's the matter?
Do you know how many Christmas cards I received this time last year?
How many?
Well, according to my records, 35. That shows how times change.
Oh, Henry, this is only the day before Christmas. There's one more delivery.
Well, I know, Mother, but all my old standbys are heard from. I can't depend on any new ones coming in.
Henry, are you sure you have the right attitude toward Christmas?
The right attitude, Father? Well, I've got to know where I stand, don't I? I've slipped back to practically 1949.
All right, dear, all right. Eat your cereal.
Yeah, I'm eating it, Mother.
Sam, did we send the Whitmores a card?
The Whitmores? Who are the Whitmores?
Well, don't you remember? We met them on the train coming back from Chicago.
You mean that trip we took way back in 1946?
Yes.
And they're still sending us cards?
Every Christmas. Naturally, we ought to send them one.
Henry, are you going to Nancy Adams' party tonight?
What's that, Mary?
The party tonight. Are you going?
Well, I'll tell you, Mary.
Henry, Nancy isn't giving a party on Christmas Eve, is she?
Well, in a way, she's giving it on Christmas Eve.
What do you mean, in a way she is?
Well, Father, I hope you don't think I'm going to walk out on my whole family tonight. You don't have to worry about that.
You mean you're not going, Henry?
Mary, do you have to pin your own brother down like that? I'm just going for a little while.
Why, Henry, we always spend Christmas Eve together as a family, and then go to church together.
Mother, I thought that after we got the tree trimmed, well, naturally we'd want to sit around and rest for a second. And I thought that while we're resting, I'd just race over and say hello to the gang and then come around and meet you at the church.
Oh, you had it all figured out, huh?
Well, I didn't have it figured out exactly. I just thought I'd be prepared if the subject came up.
Well, dear, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but you're not going to any party tonight.
Not even for 12 minutes?
Not even for 2 minutes.
My goodness, Henry, don't you realize tonight is Christmas Eve?
Alice, who are Ed and Bill?
Ed and Bill? Ed and Bill who, dear?
I don't know. This card's just signed Ed and Bill.
Well, isn't that strange?
Mother, is the subject of the party dropped for good?
Yes, dear. Sam, look at this.
At what?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards here from people we haven't sent cards to. And here it is the day before Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Gee whiz, Homer. Where'd you come from? Hello, Mrs. Aldrich.
Good morning, Homer.
Hello, Homer.
Good morning, Homer.
Henry, I'll get a very private piece of news for you. You have? Gee whiz, is that coffee cake?
Yes, dear. Wouldn't you like to go out in the kitchen and get a plate and have a piece?
Well, no, thank you. I've got my gloves on. I'll just take a piece right here.
Homer, what's that in your coat lapel?
Mistletoe, Mary.
Oh.
Mr. Aldrich, you expecting any telegrams today?
Telegrams?
Because if you are, I'll keep my eyes open for them for you.
Why? Are you working down at the telegraph office?
Well, not yet exactly, Mrs. Aldrich, but I've been talking to them about it. And things may open up at the last minute. Will you excuse me, please, everybody? Come on, Homer.
Henry, you didn't fold your napkin.
I didn't even unfold it.
Alice, we didn't meet anybody by the name of Ed and Bill at Atlantic City that summer, did we?
Homer, what do you got to tell me? Gee, I got wonderful news for you, I think. What about? Eleanor's going to give you a Christmas present. Who, me? Well, sure. I just met her on the street, and she wanted me to ask you to meet her in front of the Centerville gift shop just as soon as you can get there. Well, gee, what makes you think she's going to give me something? That's why she wants you to meet her, so you can help her pick out a wallet. A wallet? I'm not kidding you, Henry. I swear that's what she told me. Oh, did Eleanor come right out and say she was going to give it to me? Well, of course she didn't. I said to her, you mean you're getting it for Henry? And she got all red and embarrassed and said, well, of course not. I'm getting it for my father. But I could tell she was covering up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And I'm to meet her down at the gift shop, she said? Well, sure. Just as soon as you can get there.
Hello, is this Toby Smith?
Yes?
Well, this is Eleanor Wentworth. Toby, could you meet me down at the gift shop in the next 15 minutes?
At the Centerville gift shop?
Yes, I'm there now. I want you to help me pick out a wallet.
A wallet? You mean a man's wallet?
Yes, of course, only I don't know anything about that sort of thing.
You mean you're getting...
It's for my father.
For your father. That's a hot one.
Toby, really it is, and I'd love to see what kind you'd pick out.
Well, sure, Eleanor. Oh, boy, I'll be down there in 10 minutes.
Hello?
this is Sam.
Yes, dear, where are you?
Down at the office. Do you remember the Mulligans?
The Mulligans?
They live over in Abbott City. What's his first name?
Well, I believe it's Joe.
Joe?
Yes, I'm sure it's Joe.
Then the Mulligans didn't send that card from Ed and Bill. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mother, will you please take a look at this Christmas card I just got?
Let me see it.
Isn't that embarrassing? I bet it cost 75 cents.
Who's it from, dear?
From Homer. Isn't that embarrassing?
Oh, well, now, I think it was a very nice thing for him to do.
But, Mother, do I have to send one back to him?
Well, of course, Mary. Now, please don't bother me, dear. I've got to wrap up that fruitcake I've been meaning to send Mrs. Hawkins all week.
To Mrs. Hawkins?
Yes, dear. She has 3 boys in the service, and she's all alone this Christmas.
Mother! Mother, where are you?
I'm out here in the kitchen, Henry, and I'm very busy.
Well, I'm very sorry to interrupt you like this, but could I have a talk with you confidentially about something important?
Well, what's happened, dear?
Well, nothing. Only could you please step into the dining room a second? Mary, I don't like to be rude, but this is about Christmas.
Oh, that's all right, Henry. Only I hope you're not going to spend a whole lot on me.
On who? Now, Mary, don't start getting any ideas.
Henry, you'll have to hurry. I haven't more than a minute.
Yes, Mother, here's what happened. Eleanor Wentworth has given me a $3.95 wallet, plus tax.
What's that?
A wallet. It's made of leather, and it even has a place for my student body.
For your what?
My student body card. That's in case if I'm in an accident, people will know who I am.
Well, now, just 1 minute, dear. Suppose you calm down and tell me very slowly what it is that happened.
But, Mother, there's no time to lose. I've got to have $4.
What for?
Don't you understand? I've got to give Eleanor a present just as good as the one she's giving me, haven't I?
Well, frankly, Henry, if Eleanor at her age wants to spend money on presents for boys, it's none of my business. But I don't believe I have $4 to give you to buy her anything.
But, Mother, what am I going to do about Toby Smith?
What's that?
Well, Toby Smith was down there, too, putting his 2 cents worth because he thinks the wallet's for him. And Eleanor pointed out something that she's crazy about. And it costs $4. And if I don't beat him to it, he'll get it first. And then won't I look like a fool?
Henry, if you have $4 of your own, that's something else. But I really don't think I should give it to you.
Mother, will you please look at what I just discovered? I'm certainly not going to send a card to Homer.
Why not, Mary?
Look, Mother, I held the card he sent me under a very strong light, and look at what's been erased on it. I hope you like your gun. Love, Aunt Beth.
Well, dear, Homer was probably just cutting down expenses.
Mary, could you step into the living room while I have a confidential talk with you for a second?
What about?
Christmas.
Oh, you want some advice?
Mary, do you remember what it was I was going to do just as Henry came in?
No, Mother. Well, Henry?
Do you know Toby Smith?
Yes.
Do you like him?
Henry, I can't stand him.
Mary, I'm sure glad to hear you say that. Could you lend me $4?
$4?
Well, look, Mary, if I don't give Eleanor more than a 25-cent handkerchief, I'll never be able to walk on a public street again. And I know just exactly what she wants.
What?
Well, she pointed it out in the gift shop. She said it was about the nicest thing she'd ever seen.
What was it?
Mary, haven't you even been listening? A Christmas tree that lights up.
A what?
To wear on the lapel of your coat. It's a pin, see, and it has a little battery in it.
Really?
Sure, and it's only $4. And they've only got one left.
But, Henry, you already owe me money.
Hey, Henry! She was Homer. Where are you? Boy, I think I'm going to get that job delivering telegrams this afternoon. Oh, that's fine. Listen, Mary. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Homer.
Did you... Have the mails been coming through all right today?
Yes.
Well, how do you feel?
I feel just fine.
Oh. Homer, what is it you want? Listen, did you know Toby Smith is taking Eleanor to the party tonight? You're crazy. Who told you that? Toby did. I met him just a little while ago on his way home. He had to get some money to buy something. Mary, do you hear that? Haven't you got any family pride? Which counter is it at, Henry? It's right over here, Homer. Oh, mister.
Something I can do for you, young man?
Yes, sir. I came back to get the tree.
What's that?
The Christmas tree that lights up.
Oh, yes. We do have a nice one here in the store this year, haven't we?
I guess he's hard of hearing, Henry. No, the little Christmas tree.
The what?
Don't you remember the little Christmas tree that surprises you when it lights up?
Oh, you mean the pin?
Sure. I finally got the $4 for it.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's just been sold.
What's that? It's been sold?
Less than 10 minutes ago.
Well, that's a fine thing. After I promised to make my sister's bed every morning for a month as compound interest.
I'm sorry, sir.
Hey, look, Henry, how about getting Eleanor just a straight flashlight? Boy, I saw one that's so powerful it'll blind her. Homer, what would she do with a flashlight? Well, I know darn well I'd like it. Mister, are you positive that pin's been sold?
There's the clerk over there who made the sale. She might even be able to tell you who bought it.
Oh, I know who bought it. I just don't see how he got down here so fast. And Eleanor Eleanor said herself it's the only pin she's ever seen she really likes.
Hey, mister. Hey, mister.
Gee whiz, Toby, what are you doing back here?
Mister, how about that Christmas tree that lights up like a pin? I mean, well, you know what I mean.
I beg your pardon?
The pin.
I'm sorry, young man, but that pin's been sold.
It's been sold? Yeah? Oh, now listen, Henry.
Gee whiz, Toby, you mean you didn't buy it?
Now listen, Henry, I'm supposed to get that for Eleanor. Hand it over.
Hand what over? I haven't got it.
Toby, stop pushing, Henry.
That's what I say.
Listen, Homer Brown, did you buy it? Hey!
Now listen, Toby.
Now, wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Be careful of that piece on earth sign.
Hello?
Hello, Sam Aldrich speaking.
Oh, hello, Sam. This is Alice.
Yeah?
Didn't you room with someone at Princeton by that name?
By what name?
Ed or Bill?
He didn't have both names. Anyhow, we called him Murph.
Oh. Well, the reason I called, dear, is to ask what we ought to do about Homer.
Homer, what's happened to him?
Well, he was here just a little while ago, and after he left, I found a card on the living room table addressed to me.
Yes?
Well, he's apparently saving postage. Don't you think I ought to give him something rather nice?
All right. How about one of your fruitcakes?
Sam, that reminds me. Don't let me forget to send Mrs. Hawkins that fruitcake.
That's a nice idea. No one in town I'd rather remember. She's got 3 sons in the service.
That's the way I feel.
And Alice, it's starting to snow pretty hard. Tell Henry he'd better start shoveling.
Well, Henry isn't here right now.
Well, when he comes in, tell him.
All right, dear. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mother!
Yes, Henry?
I've got to ask you something.
Dear, your father wants you to keep the walks cleared of snow.
Sure, Mother, but listen. Who could this be? She's a lady, see? She's a lady.
What's that?
Well, now, wait, Mother. She's a lady about so high, see, and she wears a black coat with a black fur collar. Who is she?
Henry, what are you talking about?
Who is she, Mother? Who is she? I've got to know.
Is this a game, Henry?
A game? Mother, my whole Christmas is at stake. She's my only clue.
Henry, I can't possibly know who you're talking about.
Well, gee whiz, you know all the ladies in town. Now, listen very carefully. She comes up to here on me, see? She wears a black coat with fur cuffs.
I thought you said a fur collar.
I did? Sure. And she's not very heavy. She weighs maybe... Well, you know, Mrs. Brown?
Yes?
Well, she isn't like that at all, but that'll give you an idea. And she wears her eyeglasses on a chain.
Oh, my goodness. Henry, why do you have to know the answer?
She's got the tree. She's got the tree.
Whose tree?
My tree that I'm giving Eleanor.
What's that?
She got there ahead of Toby and me, don't you see? The clerk described her to me, and I got to find her and make her an offer.
She wears her glasses on a chain, and she's about so high.
And fur on a coat.
Well, the only person that reminds me of is Mrs. Kittinger.
Mrs. Kittinger? Gee whiz, why didn't I think of her? I'll go right over.
Now, wait a minute, Henry. It might just possibly be Mrs. Tarbell.
Mrs. Tarbell? Sure, that sounds like Mrs. Tarbell. I'll go right over.
No, wait. I just thought of someone else who wears her glasses on a chain.
A woman?
Oh, yes, of course, Miss Perkins.
Miss Perkins? All right, I'll try Miss Perkins, Mrs. Tarbell, and Mrs. Kittinger.
And don't forget the front wall.
No, I won't, Mother. Just as soon as I've taken care of this. Goodbye.
Henry, I thought of someone else. Henry!
Hello there, Henry Aldrich. Won't you step inside?
No, thanks, Mrs. Kittinger. I only get snow all over your rug.
Oh, my goodness, look at the snow. Well, what can I do for you, Henry?
Well, first, do you have a coat with fur on it?
Why, not to give away, Henry.
No, I was just wondering. I thought you wore glasses.
Why, I do sometimes. Did your mother send you over?
Well, in a way, she did. Were you down at the gift shop this morning?
Yes, I was.
Well, did you make a purchase there?
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, it was very foolish of me to wait until the last minute. There was hardly anything left.
I'll say.
Henry, just what was it you wanted?
Nothing. Gee, your walk certainly needs shoveling, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid it does.
Well, Mrs. Kittinger, if you have a shovel, I'd be very glad to clean it off for you.
Well, now, that's very thoughtful of you, Henry. And I'd be glad to pay you.
Oh, no, I wouldn't take any money from you. But when I get through, Mrs. Kittinger, you're going to be around, aren't you?
Yes.
Because I want to have a little talk with you.
Why, Henry Aldrich.
How do you do, Mrs. Tarbell? Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Well, I'm sure glad to see you're wearing your glasses on a chain.
What's that?
Boy, did I make a mistake over at Mrs. Kittinger's. She wears them, but they're not on a chain. And that's where I got off on the wrong foot.
Henry, didn't I see you just as I was leaving the gift shop this morning?
Did you?
Yes, I'm sure I did.
Mrs. Tarbell, how would you like to have your walk cleaned?
We'll return to the Aldrich family in just a moment. Later this evening, NBC will deliver a Christmas package bursting with good cheer. A radio adaptation of Charles Dickens' classic, The Pickwick Papers. Our stars will be Alan Webb, Melville Cooper, and Cyril Richard. The Pickwick Papers over the years has become the favorite of young and old alike, and it's in keeping with the holiday season. Don't miss The Pickwick Papers, as brought to you by Theater Guild on the Air later tonight. Now, tomorrow night, NBC will bring you more Yuletime entertainment when the Railroad Hour welcomes as guest soprano Dorothy Kirsten. Miss Kirsten will join your singing host, Gordon McCrae, in excerpts from The Nutcracker Suite and Christmas songs of many countries. Stay tuned to NBC tomorrow evening, the Monday night of music. You'll hear the Telephone Hour, The Voice of Firestone, an old-fashioned band concert by Paul Laval and the Band of America, and NBC's newest show, which features the talents of Marguerite Piazza, Robert Merrill, and NBC's man about music, Meredith Wilson. Now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Well, so far this Christmas, Henry's one purpose is to catch up with the lady who bought the only pin of its kind in town, a pin that cost $4 and that looks like a small Christmas tree, which Eleanor said she'd just love to have if anyone wanted to give her anything. The scene opens in the Aldrich living room.
Dad, are you home?
I am. I thought I sent word for Henry to clean off our walk.
Well, dear, I asked him to, but he went out and he hasn't come back since.
Yeah? And look at me. I had to wade through a drift up to my knees.
Well, you go right up and change your clothes.
What gotten into that boy? You can take time to shovel other people's walks, but not ours.
Why do you say that?
Miss Perkins stopped me on the street on the way home and told me how nice it was of Henry to come over and clean her walk.
Well, my goodness.
Oh, and here, see whether you can figure these Christmas cards out. One is signed Ida and one is signed Van.
Ida? I never heard of Ida.
Well, who's Van?
Well, that isn't the point, dear. But why would any Ida be sending you a card at the office?
I'm going up and soak my feet.
Hello?
This is Western Union calling. Is Henry Aldrich there?
No, he isn't. Do you have a telegram for him?
No, I just wanted to say hello.
Who is this?
It's Homer. I got the job. Goodbye.
What's that? Mother, I have that fruitcake ready for Mrs. Hawkins. You have, Mary? Sam!
Yes, Alice?
Have you started to soak yet?
What?
For my gracious, Christmas is always like this. Hello?
Is this Miss Aldrich?
Yes?
This is Mrs. Kittinger. I just wanted to call and tell you how nice it was of you to send Henry over.
What's that?
I say it was so sweet of you to send Henry over to clean my walk.
Oh. Oh, did he clean yours, too?
Yes, he did a perfect job. And he wouldn't take a cent. All he wanted to do was come in and look at the presents I'm giving.
What's that?
All right, Alice. What is it you want?
Merry Christmas, Mrs. Aldrich.
Well, thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Sam, what are you doing down here in your bare feet?
You asked me to come down. What do you want?
Oh. Oh, well, I was going to ask you to take that fruitcake over to Mrs. Hawkins, but I guess it will have to wait.
But I'm down here now.
No, dear, you go right back up and soak.
Hey, Henry, isn't that you?
Sure, Homer. What is it you want?
Well, come on with me while I deliver a couple of telegrams. Gee whiz, I'm tired. I'm going home. It's only a few blocks out of your way. Homer, look at me. My feet are wet. I haven't had any lunch. Boy, what have you been doing? I've been shoveling every walk in town. Boy, did my mother double-cross me. Yeah, but look, Henry, my first stop is Mrs. Hawkins, just 3 doors down the street. I'll even let you borrow one of my gloves. Here, take the right one. I carry my telegrams in the left one. Thanks. And one of the telegrams I've got is a war message. A what? Sure, it's from John Hawkins to his mother. He's in an army camp down in Texas. I thought John Hawkins was in Korea. No, his 2 brothers are in Korea. Now, here's the house right here. And that's a war message you have for her? Well, sure. John says he's very sorry, but he wasn't able to get a furlough to come home. And he's also sorry he and his brothers can't all be here tonight to spend an old-fashioned Christmas with their mother. Yeah? And then he wishes her a Merry Christmas. Homer, I thought you weren't supposed to read confidential messages. Well, gee whiz, I haven't read you the message, Henry. Besides, everybody will know about it tomorrow.
Oh, how do you do, boys?
How do you do, Mrs. Hawkins? A telegram.
For me?
Won't you step in while I see whether it needs an answer?
Well, okay. Only I don't think you'll find it does, Mrs. Hawkins.
No? Now let me see if I can get my glasses untangled. This chain is always catching on something.
Can I help you untangle it?
No, thank you. I have it.
Mrs. Hawkins.
I'll be there in just 1 minute.
Gee whiz, Homer, that sounds like Toby Smith in the living room.
Mrs. Hawkins, this is it, all right. I'll pay you $4 for it.
Toby, what are you doing here? Hey, look, Homer, they're on a chain.
What?
The glasses. Now listen, Toby, you can't have that pin.
Get away, Henry.
Now listen, Toby. Henry, don't let him push you like that.
Boys, look out for that angel.
Now listen, Henry.
There, darn you.
Hey!
Boys, watch the door.
Well, gee whiz.
Sam, would you mind putting another log on the fire, please?
That's just what I'm going to do.
My goodness, but it's an awful night out. You ought to look out the window, Mother. I've never seen so much snow on Christmas Eve.
Mary, straighten that piece of holly that's hanging right over your father.
All right. Hold still, Father.
I can't lift the log and hold still, too.
Dear, look out for the sparks.
They're all right.
Mary, when Henry came a while ago, exactly what did he say?
He just asked whether you and Father were in, and I said no, you'd gone out to do some shopping, and then he ran upstairs. And when he came down, he had his best suit on.
And that's all he said.
Well, he said to tell you he finally straightened out the whole problem of Eleanor's present, and that he was in an awful hurry to get down to the glass cutters, and something about a party.
Sam, what do you think we ought to do?
Phone wherever the party is and tell him to come home.
Now, dear, we aren't going to do anything like that.
Didn't you explain to Henry that we always spend Christmas Eve together, as all families do?
Dear, if Henry doesn't want to spend this evening with us, it's something I'm not going to force him to do.
Mother, don't you think he ought to be punished?
Mary, dear, will you go out to the kitchen and get that big bowl of fruit and nuts out there?
Yes, Mother.
Cheer up, Alice. He'll be along shortly.
Sam, I'm afraid Henry doesn't even begin to know what Christmas really means. The one thing he's thought about all day is himself and that present he wanted to get Eleanor. That's the only thing that's meant anything to him. He didn't shovel the walk. He didn't get the cellar window fixed. Oh, my goodness, Sam. That reminds me. You didn't get that fruitcake over to Mrs. Hawkins.
Well, how could I, Alice? I had to go out and shovel the walk for Henry.
Oh, I know, dear. But here it is Christmas Eve and Mrs. Hawkins. Well, of all the people in this town, we should have sent one
All right, Alice, all right. I'll take it over first thing tomorrow.
Well, can't we take it over now?
Tonight in this storm?
Well, we could certainly drop it off on the way to church, can't we?
Alice, I realize Mrs. Hawkins misses her boys like everything, but the church is in one direction and the Hawkins house is in the other. It's snowing to beat the band. I'll take it over first thing tomorrow.
Very well.
Incidentally, I wonder how the Hawkins boys are getting along.
Well, I understand she hears from them quite often.
Yes, there was always one thing about them. They were devoted to their mother.
Yes.
Alice, don't cry. I didn't mean it that way.
I'm not crying.
Here's a bowl of fruit and nuts, Mother. Will you have some?
No, dear. What would I want with any fruit and nuts?
Why, it's Christmas Eve. Father?
I'm not hungry, Mary.
What's the matter? I thought you wanted me to bring them in.
We did, dear. Just put them down there on the table where they'll look Christmassy.
Oh.
And light the candles on the piano just as though... Dear, where are you going?
I'm going to phone Henry and tell him to leave that party and come home.
Sam Aldrich, I don't want you to.
But, Mother, if Father doesn't, Henry won't even be here to go to church with us.
Now, Henry knows we're going. If he isn't here by then, we'll go alone.
When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. Let us all rise while we sing, We Three Kings of Orient Are.
Sam.
Yes, Alice.
Sam, look.
Where?
Just 3 rows ahead. It's Mrs. Hawkins.
Yeah? You mean we should have brought the fruitcake with us?
No, dear.
Look who's with her. My goodness, Mother, look. Have the 3 Hawkins boys come home?
No, Mary. Can't you see who that is with her? It's Henry and Homer and Toby. Sam, just look at Henry. I've never seen him look so nice.
Alice, I've just remembered who Ed and Bill are. They're Mrs. Hawkins' 2 sons in Korea. One of the brightest futures open today is ready for the girl who chooses nursing as her profession. You'll receive a professional education. You'll work with doctors and professional people. You'll associate with the finest citizens in the community. What's especially important, you'll be serving humanity and be ready to serve your country in time of emergency. You can join this hand-picked group of young women if you're a high school graduate or a college student of good health and character. Talk it over with your school advisor, or go to your nearest hospital today and ask how you can become a nurse. The Aldrich Family is transcribed as written by Clifford Goldsmith. Henry is played by Bobby Ellis and Homer by Jack Grimes. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Barbara Robbins. Your announcer is Dick Dudley. Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
The Aldrich Family from 1952. Well, from our family to yours, Merry Christmas.